Why do we waste time ingesting things that we know are poison? Now, there are some people who at least deserve the conversation about like, where is this friendship, relationship, workship going? But for some, it's also a conversation of where I'm going, you can't go with me. And like I said, I've had to have those tough conversations. It doesn't mean I may never return, but for now, it's not an asset. It's a liability. It's a headache. It's extra. And my time is valuable. I made a post the other day. If your time were in a store, would it be at the Dollar Tree or would it be at L'Envent? You know what I'm saying? Would it be at Louis Vuitton? Would it be at Gucci? How much do you value your time? Because everything you see, everything you do, everyone you talk to takes a bit of your time, attention, and energy. Welcome to the Femme Fit Entrepreneurs Podcast. We're your hosts, Aurelia Michael Holmgren and Britt Inez. Here we talk all things health, wealth, womanhood, and of course, ownership. So sit back or stand up straight on that treadmill and enjoy today's episode. What is up? What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Femme Fit Entrepreneurs Podcast. I am one half of your hostesses with the mostesses, Aurelia Michael Holmgren, and welcome to the Femme Fit Entrepreneurs Podcast, where we talk all things health, wealth, womanhood, and of course, ownership. Yes, that is me in the beginning of our podcast. You can't have a voiceover artist on a podcast and they not do the voiceover for the beginning. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day or you're winding down from a wonderful day. And I am super excited to do this solo episode. This has been a topic that is coming up in a lot of conversation and it's a tough one, but I think it's important. I think it's as we're changing seasons, as we're heading into Q2, it's important that we really start figuring out who and what we are surrounded by. But before we even get into that, I'm still going to do a prep update because why not? So I am currently 6 weeks out from my qualifying show, which means I am exhausted. I am hungry. I am extremely forgetful. I am moody. I am impatient. But above all that, I am still fabulous and getting snatched. So you give a little, you take a little, it is what it is. But I really, really want to dive into this topic, get right to it, get you to the rest of your day. If you have not already, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your village. Don't keep this to yourself, which is why we came up with this podcast to begin with, is because we've been having these conversations and we didn't want to keep them to ourselves. So today we are going to be talking about, are you in the winner's circle? And I'm curious, feel free to jot down below in the comments, what comes to mind when you hear that? What does the winner's circle mean to you? When you instantly think of the top 5 people in your life, do you feel like that circle is surrounded by winners? Now, don't confuse winning and winners with financial freedom and 1 million homes and popularity, being famous, all that jazz. Winning is always subjective to how you believe it is. But how do you feel when you think about the 5 people you talk to the most? How do you feel when you think about the last thing you watched on Instagram? How do you feel about the last place you went to? The last person you chatted with? How did that make you feel? Like a winner or like the other thing? We're not even going to say that word today. All right. So I've got some notes because, like I said, very forgetful these days, and I do not want to steer you wrong. So we're going to start with why we even do this topic. I think it's important sometimes to talk about why we come up with a topic. And I'm going to preface this by saying I am no science girly, so take these terms with a grain of salt. But I put truthfully, it's about us being the nucleus, right? It's about taking inventory of who and what we are attracting and taking responsibility to an extent of who and what we are attracting. What is orbiting around us and why the people that are around us, how much are they essential to the success we desire and the excellence that requires? I'll say that again. Are the people in your life essential 2, the success you desire and the excellence that that requires. Because you can want certain things all day, every day. But are you doing the things and are you keeping the people around you that are helping that or hurting that? So let's talk about why a winning circle is key, how you know you have a strong internal circle, because there's two. There's an internal circle and there's an external circle. And then some ways that you can create or strengthen those circles if you realize they ain't popping like they need to be. So, why is a winning circle key? You are what you consume. Whether you want to admit it or not, everything you have achieved and everything you haven't can easily be somewhat connected to the people, places, and things that you consume. So if we think about it like nutrition, you're either filling yourself with nutrition or with new trash. Nutrition or new trash, garbage, basura, however you want to say it. Scrolling IG, checking out that your explore page will say a lot about you. No shade, no tea. The news, reality TV. I remember when I would watch Housewives of Atlanta. Don't get me wrong, love the show. But I started to recognize that how I spoke about myself, to my partner, shifted in not a healthy way because of what I was seeing. The drama. I started to pull in drama and gossip into my life just off of a show that ain't nobody paying me to watch, but these people are getting paid to be on. So, what is influencing your actions and your thoughts on a daily basis? What is keeping your attention? Because no matter what your belief system is in the world, or who you think you serve, you will be surprised the idols that you keep in your life, the things that you cannot live without, the things that almost like how people, when they go on a coffee withdrawal, start getting moody and they start, getting headaches and all that. Like there are things in your life that would cause that if you were to remove yourself, which means we're probably a little in too deep. And we need to start pulling ourselves out and really taking some inventory and doing evaluation. Inventory and evaluation taking should not happen just in December 31st to get us ready for 1/1. Inventory, we need to be taking that at least quarterly, if not monthly, potentially weekly, and if hopefully right before bed. So a winning circle is also key because you cannot trust everything you think. Don't believe everything you think. I know you don't want to hear it, but half the time you are not qualified for the actions or thoughts that you decide to take on a daily basis. So if you're trying to be your own coach, your own therapist, your own nutritionist, your own carpenter, but you don't know the difference between a nail and a screw, like me, it's like you're trying to be the doctor and the patient at the same time. Excuse me. You got to have folks around you that remind you not just who you are, but whose you are. And when you suddenly forget that you're that person, that you're the one, that you're it, those people will step in quickly, like Britt does. She'll just message me and shut it all down. Your thoughts, oh, this is what I heard today. Ooh. So there is a pastor of Life Church, Craig Groeschel. Hopefully I said that right. Life Church. He said, your thoughts have incredible power, but you also have incredible power over your thoughts. But sometimes it doesn't feel like that. Sometimes it feels like the elephant tied to the chair, thinking that the chair is bigger and stronger and more anchored than you. So sometimes you need people to help you see things clearly when you feel, especially when you feel less than. A winning circle is also important because your outreach, your level of influence, your potential for expansion can only be as big as your current reach. If I have 500 followers and I need something and I send it to a friend who has 1,000 followers, now I have the potential of 1,500 people getting their eyes on it versus just having my own current network. Why some of us are still out here not doing it alone. I don't know why we're out here trying to do it alone, but thinking that that's optimal is really beyond me. And I say this because I'm still guilty about it. One of my voiceover clients the other day was like, you should be in these conferences. You should be in these conventions. And part of me is like, no, I can do it on my own. Voice on demand. My voiceover company can grow on its own. We've got it. Yeah, of course we got it and we can do it on our own, but that doesn't mean we should. If I can get a company that has 100,000 people following them suddenly checking for us, and then they put us on their platform, that's going to amplify not just me, but the way my spirituality is set up, glorify God, and bring more people to us than I could on my own. So that's why the winning circle is key, because if they're really a winning circle, they are going to expand and blow up everything that you do. Okay, so now you might be like, Aurelia, do I have a winning circle? I don't know. How can I take inventory and figure that all out? I got you. So, how do you know you even have a strong internal and external circle? So, let's talk about the difference as well. So, my internal circle is the bestie, of course, my friends, my family, my significant other, and then even your coworkers sometimes. And then external circles are your support team, right? Your coach, your mentor, your therapist, counselor, podcasts, YouTube. Technically, those can still be considered outer circles because they are influencing you, even if you don't know these people personally. So, here are 3 ways you can test the strength. So, similar to bodybuilding, you test your strength by slowly increasing weight. But I say slowly because you also want to make sure you avoid injury and complication. So, don't rush these tests. Take some time and really take good inventory, and you can write this down too, to figure out if these relationships are assets or if they're liabilities. So, for our inner circle, 3 things you can test. Are you able to talk to this person without judgment, feeling of ridicule, without shame, or feeling like they may kill your dream? A lot of times it's the people closest to us that knock us down because, as I always say, misery isn't the only thing that loves company. Complacency loves company too. And so if I'm playing safe, the only way for me to feel better about me may be to pull you down to the level that I'm at. So when you instantly think of the top 5 people you talk to, do you automatically feel like there is no judgment? There's no comparison and competition happening, that it's purely off of inspiration, support, and accountability. 2, do these people inspire you in at least 1 to 2 areas of their life? So this doesn't mean that everyone in my circle has to be at the top of their game in every aspect, but what is it about this person? Why am I even their friend? Because being someone's friend because they want to be your friend isn't good enough. And being someone's friend because you feel like, oh man, on a normal day, I'd be out of their league. So I'm just going to stick around and see what happens. It's not enough. Does this person make financial decisions you admire? Are they really diligent in their health and wellness? Do they enter a room with such confidence unconditionally that people gravitate to them? What is it about this person? And write this down for real, for real. Feel free to email us, DM us, and let us know how your list is going, because you may find yourself by yourself and needing to start over. But what are the 1 to 2 areas that every person close to you, including your outer circle, brings to your life, inspires you to be or become? And then 3, do you see them continuing up the elevator with you 1, 3, and 5 years down the road? Now, that's a tough place to be because sometimes we're just been around somebody so long because we've been around them so long. But if you look in 5 years, the life that you want to live, do you see that person rolling with you? Because at the end of the day, in order for me to get all the way up the stairs, if I'm taking that walk, I'm going to have to let some stuff out of my backpack. And unfortunately, that's going to be places I no longer need to entertain, people I no longer need to entertain and or carry, and just any mindset practices that are actually doing more harm than good. So again, those 3, are you able to talk with them without fear, without judgment, without the thought that they may kill your dreams? Do they inspire you in 1 to 2 ways, areas in your life? And do you see them continuing up the stairway, up the elevator of life with you in 1, 3, or 5 years? All right, so now let's talk about the outer circle. Are they giving you perspectives that happily challenge you while providing a safe and supportive space if you miss the mark? So, as a coach of 13 years now, it is so important to me that I make sure that my clients know, okay, you come to me for a reason. I'm still going to put you in the driver's seat, but I will be in the passenger helping guide you as much as you will let me. But there are coaches out there are people out there who will unfortunately utilize their authority to either tear you down, keep you paying so they can keep their lights on, or they are honestly not equipped to serve you. But instead of being humble enough to say that and to refer you to someone else, they allow the ego to get in the way. So, are they giving you perspectives that challenge you while providing a safe and supportive space? This also means for podcasts, vlogs, anything that you're listening to and getting inspired by. You want to make sure that you still feel the same way. 2, are these influences an asset, or do you find yourself constantly wavering your ship, switching up the game to try someone else's strategy? Now, I am beyond guilty of this. And am I going to keep it all the way real? Yes. There is a particular person, I guess you could say influencer, um, popular person, whatever you want to call it. And I started to compare my business to their business. And I started doing things that were not in my voice. And at the time, my business coach was like, "What are you doing? Who is this? This doesn't sound like you." And I realized that I was comparing myself so much. I was up at 9, 10, 11 at night trying to edit my website to make it look like theirs. When I look, feel, experience, lived nothing like them. So, is this person, is this place, this podcast, whoever, is it pulling you closer toward your mode of operation? Not meaning you can't be inspired and gain new knowledge. Or are they pushing you toward trends? Are they pushing you toward fads? And are you constantly finding yourself comparing? Inspiration is one thing, but it's a very thin line when we go from inspiring to comparing to competing. And third, would you recommend it to someone else? Sometimes we be on that bull we wouldn't even recommend. Like dating. If you wouldn't let your bestie be with this kind of person, why are you? So if it's not someone or somewhere you would truly recommend, take a second and think about why you are with this therapist, why you are going to this event, why you are thinking in this manner or watching this show. All of this in the end really takes honesty with self so that you can then be honest with others. And, breakups are never easy of any, look, breakups now ain't hard for me, but breakups are never easy, especially with relationships where nothing is bad. It's just fine. And it's not where you need to go. It's not where you're going. And unfortunately, I have had those situations where, at least in this season, I can't go up this elevator with you. And nothing has happened, but nothing has not happened. And I just have a feeling that I have to go with trusting my gut, trusting my intuition. So at this point, you're probably either like, yes, my circle is strong AF, can't mess with us, bang, bang. Or you're like, can you give me some ways to begin creating or strengthening my circles? Because they ain't popping like I want them to. We'll keep this section short and sweet because while it is really small in stature, it's really big in commitment. So the first thing is to have the conversation and or just let it go. Why do we waste time ingesting things that we know are poison? Why do we waste time ingesting things that we know are poison? Now, there are some people who at least deserve the conversation about like, where is this friendship, relationship, workship going? But for some, it's also a conversation of where I'm going, you can't go with me. And like I said, I've had to have those tough conversations. It doesn't mean I may never return, but for now, it's not an asset. It's a liability. It's a headache. It's extra. And my time is valuable. I made a post the other day. If your time were in a store, would it be at the Dollar Tree or would it be at L'Enfant? You know what I'm saying? Would it be at Louis Vuitton? Would it be at Gucci? How much do you value your time? Because everything you see, everything you do, everyone you talk to takes a bit of your time, attention, and energy. And some people, places, and things you just need to release. And if you're afraid to, take this as your sign. How can you make room, regardless of who you believe in? I'm going to just speak for my truth. How can I make room for God if when I open the door for him, he can't see past me because it's so full of unnecessary stuff? This may also be happening in your home. A whole lot of unnecessary things you're keeping around just in case. That's going to also manifest on your day to day. So sometimes you just need to have those conversations. Let's get on the same page. Sometimes it's let's have this conversation. I'm moving on. And sometimes I just say deuces. 2, be intentional with your connections and what you are influenced by. Intention is the word of 2024 and beyond. For your inner circle, make sure that there is mutual support, respect, accountability, and a safe space. A safe space is still an honest space, but it's safe nonetheless. And this doesn't mean you have to talk to everyone every day. I have plenty of close friends I don't talk to every day, and I have a few that I talk to throughout the day. But they should know, and you should know, that if you don't talk every day, there's no love lost, and you can pick up right where you left off. And sometimes just the mere thought of someone, I have friends that just the thought of them, I'm like, all right, got to get up, got to go do this, got to make this happen because I know they're out there doing something great in the world. Those are the kind of people you want to keep around you. For your outer circle, it starts with just getting help, and get help that works for you. Not for your boo thing or will work for your cousin or your old college professor. Like, everyone is not for everyone. I had to learn that as a coach, as a performer, as an associate choreographer. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I love a good mint. Not everybody does. But you will find the person, the people that are for you if you're really intentional in what you're looking for. So when you find your person, let that metaphorical hair down, shake your bang, and allow them to guide you from the passenger seat. Also, limit your social media access and selection. That mute button is your true best friend. That mute button is your true best friend. I always say protect yourself, protect your mental peace at any cost. I have to mute acquaintances before because I realized that sometimes watching their success, I was allowing myself to feel less than. They weren't making me feel that way. It was me. I couldn't take it personal from them, but I had to do what I needed in that moment. So you have to release the ego and admit when something is making you feel less than, and begin to replace those things with things that will get you lifted, get you elevated. Journaling, yoga, meditation, social clubs, podcasts, online church videos, vlogs, whatever it is, volunteering that can really bring you lasting joy. And lastly, and this goes for any aspect of your entire life that could have everything and nothing to do with this episode, is never settle. Be content, but never settle. And while I never say to expect from others what you would give, I had that issue with a few friendships where I'm like, I'm a 24/7 friend. You need to be no, you don't, you need to be you. And I either need to roll with that or you need to be willing to make adjustments and we grow together. But that doesn't mean you lower your expectations to the point where it starts to camouflage with the ground. There is a difference between having too high of an expectation and your expectations being so low that they camouflage with the ground. Never settle in your support groups. Question your leaders. If you're unsure of something, don't take everything for face value. But most importantly, don't settle on yourself. Most importantly, don't settle on yourself. Being bad is easy. Being average is accepted. Being good is admired. Being excellent is often criticized. And being elite doesn't really matter because those that are elite could really care less what others are thinking about them. Most of those people that are thinking about them are also wanting to be elite while thinking average. Where do you want to fall in line on that spectrum? Where do you want to be? That is going to clearly tell you the company that you want to keep. That is going to determine who is in your inner and outer circles. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this episode as much as I love talking about it, writing about it, praying about it. If you have thoughts, if you have topics, please DM us at Femme Fit Entrepreneurs Podcast on Instagram or aureliamichael.com/podcast. Check out our website there. Hit us up. We want to talk with you. We have the end of our season coming up, and the next season we'll be bringing in guests. We got all types of things coming, giveaways. So we want to get you as involved now. If you haven't already, take a second, like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, really take this to heart and please share it. If it did something for you, it may do something for someone else. Till next time. Peace.